If you drink coffee, you're going to want to hear this. It might be about to get a lot more expensive in the United States because of Trump's tariffs.
What the f is happening here? $14 for 1 pound of coffee?
If your morning starts with a cup of coffee, brace yourself. That familiar cup you grab at Walmart now costs twice as much. Just days after Trump's new tariffs on imported coffee kicked in, the 6 best-selling coffee brands at Walmart have doubled their prices. Shoppers are left wondering what on earth happened, and Walmart can't do much to keep prices anywhere near normal. But how could a tariff policy send coffee prices skyrocketing so fast? Which brands are getting hit the hardest, and will they even survive on Walmart shelves? More importantly, how much will this turn your morning coffee, a daily ritual for millions of Americans, into a luxury item? Over the next few minutes, we'll break down each brand, uncover the real reasons behind this price shock, and look at what's ahead for coffee lovers across the country. Number 1. Folgers Classic Roast. Inside Walmart's retail system, Folgers Classic Roast has long been considered one of the most popular coffee brands in America. But starting in August 2025, its price has nearly doubled, compared to the average just a year earlier. This wasn't a one-time hike either. The increase came in small waves, so most shoppers only noticed when they tallied up their coffee purchases for the month. Internal reports from several distributors show the main cause isn't domestic production costs, but rather the imported supply chain. The Robusta and Arabica beans used in Classic Roast come from multiple countries across Central and South America. When the new U.S. tariff policy took effect, every single import contract had to be renegotiated, with some key suppliers now facing an extra tariff of up to 50%. That not only sent raw material costs soaring, but also weakened Walmart's ability to negotiate better prices with its vendors. Another factor experts point to is skyrocketing international shipping costs. After shipping companies raised rates to offset fuel and insurance expenses, each container of imported coffee suddenly cost thousands of dollars more. Given Folgers Classic Roast's annual volume, those higher costs showed up at the checkout counter almost immediately. A market survey from early August 2025 found that more than 40% of Walmart coffee shoppers have noticed the price jump for Folgers Classic Roast. Among middle-aged and older customers, many worry this isn't just a temporary spike, but the new normal. This matters because these shoppers tend to buy the same brands over and over, rarely switching to alternatives. The impact of Folgers Classic Roast's price hike isn't just about consumer wallets. Walmart stores have reported a slight dip in sales for this product in the first month of the new pricing, while cheaper instant coffee brands have seen an uptick. That suggests some customers are already shifting to less expensive options, even if it means sacrificing flavor. Market analysts warn that if this trend continues, Folgers could lose a segment of its loyal customer base, which has been the backbone of the brand for decades. At the same time, Walmart's need to keep prices high to protect profit margins opens the door for competitors to launch aggressive low-price campaigns to steal market share. Some financial experts see this as an early warning that the effects of the new tariffs are starting to hit everyday essentials. When a household staple like Folgers Classic Roast is directly impacted, the question becomes how many other products will follow the same path. Will prices stay where they are or climb even higher if shipping tariffs and supply issues remain unresolved? Can you keep shopping the way you always have, or will you be forced to adapt? That's the question many people are asking after watching Folgers Classic Roast prices at Walmart climb to record highs. Number 2, great value. In Walmart's coffee lineup, Great Value has always been the go-to-budget pick for American shoppers. This private label brand doesn't just compete on price, it's the safety net for anyone trying to save money while keeping their daily coffee habit alive. But since early August 2025, Great Value coffee, once famous for being the economical choice, has jumped to nearly double the price compared to the same time last year. What's surprising is that Great Value isn't heavily tied to high-end beans like imported brands. Most of its blends are sourced from a mix of suppliers, including cheap beans from emerging markets. Still, recent retail reports show that even those lower-cost sources have gotten pricier under the new import tariffs, which apply across the board regardless of quality. That's stripped away the brand's main price advantage almost overnight. Analysts point out that private label products usually keep production costs on a tight leash to maintain razor-thin margins. When raw materials, packaging, and shipping all spike at once, Walmart is left with two options: take the profit hit or raise prices. The result is that great value now sits at, and in some cases, above the price of mid-tier commercial coffee brands, something that has never happened before. The impact is already showing in how people shop. Internal sales data reveals a sharp drop in great value purchases during the second week after the new prices hit. Some shoppers have switched to small, single-serve instant coffee packets or cheaper barley and grain-based substitutes. This shift shows just how price-sensitive Great Value's loyal base is. When the low price disappears, so does their loyalty. Adding to the pressure, local coffee roasters and regional grocery chains have stepped in fast. Many have launched their own private label blends priced 10 to 15% lower than Great Value. That not only pulls in new customers, but also forces Walmart to rethink its pricing playbook. From a market perspective, losing its cheapest option title changes the game for Great Value. Without a clear low price anchor, shoppers start weighing other factors like flavor brand trust or convenience. That could split the market into more distinct tiers, leaving Great Value to figure out a new identity. What many customers may not realize is that this price jump could spill over to Walmart's entire private label portfolio. If Great Value coffee, a staple in many homes, can't stay cheap, shoppers may start questioning the prices of other Walmart store brand products like cereal milk or canned goods. That skepticism could snowball, pushing Walmart to launch major promos or marketing pushes just to keep shoppers on board. From the customer's point of view, the big question is whether Great Value can roll prices back. With tariffs showing no sign of easing and shipping costs still high, the short-term outlook isn't promising. People used to paying less for the same product may either adjust slowly or switch to other options for good. Great Value's situation proves that even products once seen as untouchable when it came to price are not safe from the ripple effects of tariff policy. And if a brand built to stay cheap has to double its price, the bigger question is what happens next to all the other essentials in America's weekly grocery cart. Number 3, Dunkin Original Blend. Among all the packaged coffee brands sold at Walmart, Dunkin Original Blend holds a special place. It's not just a nationally recognized product tied to the Dunkin coffee shop chain, it's also a go-to choice for families who want that coffee shop taste without leaving the kitchen. But after the new tariffs kicked in, Dunkin Original Blend became one of the brands hit the hardest, with prices almost doubling in just 2 months. What makes it different from other brands is its sweet spot in the mid-range market. It was priced just right to feel worth it to consumers with enough brand credibility to back up its quality. At Walmart, it used to cost more than store brands like Great Value, but just under Starbucks, and that balance was key to keeping loyal buyers. Now that its price is creeping up to match Starbucks, people are starting to question if Dunkin is still worth choosing. One big factor behind this price jump is where Dunkin gets its beans. Market data shows that most of their coffee comes from Central and South America regions, directly hit by the new U.S. tariffs. The higher import tax on Arabica beans has caused production costs to spike. Unlike some competitors who mix in other beans to save money, Dunkin sticks to 100% Arabica to maintain a consistent flavor. That leaves them with little wiggle room to cut costs. The price hike has also changed how people shop. Retail data from several East Coast states shows loyal Dunkin buyers are scaling back, choosing smaller packs or waiting for sales. Walmart has seen 12-ounce bags selling more, while 24-ounce and 36-ounce bags drop sharply, signaling that shoppers are buying just enough instead of stocking up. That's a clear sign of price sensitivity kicking in. Another side effect is that this shift opens the door for overseas competitors looking to break into the US market. A few new brands from Canada and Europe have launched promotions right on Walmart shelves, pricing themselves lower than Dunkin, while still boasting high-quality Arabica. Their goal is to scoop up customers who've walked away from Dunkin' over price, but aren't ready to go all the way down to budget brands. The impact also goes beyond packaged coffee. Dunkin' is an omni-channel brand selling both in retail and in its own stores. When the Walmart price shoots up, it changes how people view the brand overall. Some customers are now comparing the price of a cup at Dunkin' to Starbucks and realizing there's not much difference anymore. That shift could hurt Dunkin's positioning in the long run. Strategically, Dunkin' now faces two choices: take a hit to profit margins to keep prices competitive, or elevate the brand experience enough to justify the higher price. Both come with risks, but with bean costs showing no sign of dropping. Holding the old price point is almost impossible. For consumers, this raises a bigger question about the future of mid-range coffee brands. If Dunkin Original Blend, once seen as affordable quality, is now in Starbucks territory, the line between segments is blurring. When price gaps narrow, shoppers will start making choices based on brand identity and experience rather than just cost. If this trend sticks, Dunkin could lose the very balance between value and price that once made it an American coffee icon. This isn't just a temporary bump on a price tag. It could be the turning point that reshapes how Americans buy and drink coffee at home for years to come. Number 4, Café Bustelo. Among the coffees seeing record price hikes at Walmart, Café Bustelo stands out because of its deep ties to the Latino community and to anyone who loves a bold, intense brew. This isn't your everyday coffee like Folgers or Great Value. It's a culturally recognizable choice. But that same signature flavor and roasting style has made Café Bustelo one of the hardest hit by the new tariffs. The main challenge for Café Bustelo is that most of its high-quality Robusta beans and dark-roasted Arabica beans come from the Caribbean and South America. Many of those countries are now facing steep new import taxes. For a brand built on strength and richness, swapping in cheaper beans or watering down the blend would mean losing its identity. That leaves them with little choice but to absorb higher production costs and pass them straight to the shelf price. In areas where the brand has a strong following, Walmart prices for Café Bustelo have jumped about 85% in just a few months. As a result, shoppers who used to grab bulk packs are scaling back to single cans or waiting for special discounts. Even die-hard loyalists are changing their buying habits, a red flag for any brand. Beyond the sticker shock, Café Bustelo's situation highlights something else. When a brand tied to a specific community takes a hit, the emotional ripple effect spreads fast. In Latino community forums and social media groups, the Bustello price spike has become a hot topic. Some see it as proof that tariffs are hitting cultural traditions, not just the economy. That perception adds invisible pressure on both retailers and producers. This raises a tough question for Walmart. Do they keep Café Bustelo on the shelves if profit margins shrink and demand falls? Pulling it or reducing its presence risks a backlash, but keeping it means accepting lower profits or renegotiating supplier deals. Neither option is easy when shipping costs, import taxes, and currency swings are all moving in the wrong direction. Café Bustelo isn't just battling other Latin coffee brands. It's also facing competition from global labels eager to seize the moment. With Bustelo's prices climbing, brands from Colombia, Brazil, and even Europe are sliding in with slightly lower prices and marketing built around authentic single-origin beans. If that trend continues, Bustello could lose its spot as the go-to Latin coffee in the United States. The bigger picture here is that tariffs don't just raise prices. They can weaken the bond between a brand and its core community. When prices cross the pain threshold, that loyalty gets tested and habits built over decades can change in a matter of months. Without a solid plan, the damage could extend beyond short-term sales to a long-term loss of market position. For consumers, it's a tough call. Pay more to keep the flavor and quality they love, or switch to something cheaper. The choices people make in the next few months could decide whether Café Bustelo survives on Walmart shelves. And if the worst happens and the brand disappears or gets replaced, it won't just be a minor shuffle in the coffee aisle. For many, it would be a cultural and emotional loss. Number 5, Maxwell House. Maxwell House used to be a symbol of everyday American coffee with the slogan "Good to the last drop" etched into the memories of generations. But as the coffee supply chain comes under pressure from the new tariffs, the brand now faces a tough choice. Keep prices steady by lowering quality, or protect quality by raising prices. So far, Walmart has clearly gone with the second option, and it is sparking a wave of backlash. Unlike brands that focus on a niche audience, Maxwell House is everywhere, appealing to consumers across the board. That means any price hike has a much broader impact, especially now that a large can of Maxwell House costs nearly twice what it did this time last year. This is not just a number on a price tag. It is a direct hit to the weekly shopping habits of millions of families. Maxwell House's longtime strategy has been to rely on massive production scale and bulk bean purchases at favorable rates. The new import tariffs have cut that advantage short. Contracts for Arabica and Robusta beans from South America and Africa had to be renegotiated as soon as the tariffs took effect, pushing input costs up sharply. Unlike premium brands that can pass the cost along to customers who are willing to pay extra, Maxwell House serves a more price-sensitive group, and that group is the quickest to walk away when prices spike. One worrying sign is a clear change in buying habits. Instead of grabbing the big value size can, shoppers are switching to smaller cans or only buying during promotions. That shift disrupts the steady revenue stream Maxwell House used to enjoy, while also raising packaging and shipping costs per unit. If it continues, the brand could end up with lower profits, even while charging higher prices. In some regions, especially in the South and Midwest, Walmart stores have reported unusually high stock levels of Maxwell House. That points to shoppers thinking twice before adding it to their carts. The shift toward cheaper brands or Walmart's own private labels could trigger a market share decline that will be hard to reverse without a strategic shakeup. From a competitive standpoint, Maxwell House is also under pressure from rivals who see an opening. Some international brands, less dependent on heavily taxed bean sources, are pricing just a little lower to attract hesitant Maxwell House buyers. Once customers try a new product and find it acceptable, the odds of them coming back drop sharply. That is a long-term threat that cannot be ignored. The question is whether Maxwell House can navigate this without losing its identity. Cutting quality risks its reputation, but keeping quality intact means continuing to push prices higher. With no sign of the tariffs easing, the company must decide whether to protect its current market share or let some customers go in order to maintain margins. For shoppers, the higher price of Maxwell House is not just about one coffee getting more expensive. It raises the bigger question of whether they can keep up their daily routines in such a volatile economy. If even a mainstream brand like Maxwell House is hiking prices, this much is anything really safe from this tariff storm, that answer may be showing up on their receipts in the months ahead. Number 6, Starbucks. Starbucks is not just a coffee brand. It is an experience built around a modern, comfortable vibe and the feeling of giving yourself a daily treat. But when the new tariffs drove up the cost of importing high-grade Arabica beans from South America and East Africa, the impact reached far beyond Starbucks cafes. It hit the shelves of Walmart too, where their packaged coffee is sold. This is a unique case because Starbucks is positioned in the premium segment, and its customers are usually less price-sensitive than those buying everyday brands. But when prices climb by 40 to 80% in less than a year, even loyal fans start to think twice. At Walmart, a bag of Starbucks Pike Place Roast or Breakfast Blend now costs about the same as or even more than a lunch at a casual sit-down restaurant. What makes Starbucks different is its heavy reliance on consistent bean standards and strict roasting processes. They cannot just swap in cheaper beans and still keep the flavor profile that defines the brand. That no-compromise approach makes Starbucks more vulnerable to cost spikes. A notable shift is happening in consumer behavior. Instead of buying the standard 1-pound bag, many shoppers are going for smaller sizes, or only buying during short promotional periods. This lowers the average sale per transaction and puts pressure on Starbucks' distribution strategy. Smaller orders mean higher storage and transportation costs per pound, which only pushes retail prices further up. From a competitive angle, Starbucks faces a double challenge holding on to its premium image, while avoiding losing customers to rivals like Peet's Coffee or Lavazza brands that offer similar products, but can be more flexible with pricing. Some Walmart shoppers have started trying these alternatives and are finding the taste good enough for a lower price, which is a bad sign for Starbucks over the long term. The problem is complicated by the fact that Starbucks cannot easily launch a cheaper line without damaging its brand image. If they lower quality, they risk their reputation. If they maintain quality, prices keep climbing, and the product could become a luxury item that many people only buy on special occasions. The big question is whether Starbucks will hold firm to its brand identity and accept a smaller share of the market, or come up with a new way to adapt to an era of unstable costs and tariffs. Whatever they choose, consumers will feel the change most directly, right in the bags of coffee they take home from Walmart. These 6 coffee brands, from Folgers Classic Roast to Starbucks, make one thing clear. Tariffs do not just affect luxury goods or rare imports. They can reach right into the everyday habits of millions of people. When prices double, every purchase becomes a careful balance between quality, brand loyalty, and budget. The common thread is that no brand is immune to rising costs, but their responses vary widely. Some stick to their quality standards and accept losing customers, while others change product sizes or seek new suppliers. That leaves shoppers wondering, is this just a rough patch? Or is it the new normal we will all have to adjust to?
This video does not promote division within the United States or encourage segregation. All content is presented for the purpose of exploration, analysis, and fostering discussion based on current events, public sentiment, and social trends. We fully respect the United States Constitution and all federal regulations. If today's analysis made you think, drop a comment so we can keep the conversations going. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will never miss our next independent deep dive.